I've got a harsh truth today. Your future self is waiting for you to let your old self die. Now, before you jump off, not physically, but identity wise. And the tool that makes all of this possible, you've been using your whole entire life without realizing it. And we're going to get into it because we're still reading The Power of Awareness, and we're still in chapter 3, Assumption. But I just want to say hello. I'm Brooke-Sidney. I'm your favorite mindset and manifestation coach. And as I was saying, we are reading or rereading, for me, The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, and we're diving into chapter 3, Assumption chapter. And I want to talk about this concept of dying to our old self, because your manifestation lives in your future self. Sometimes another way we think about that is we call it another timeline, right? Where the version of you, future self, is already with your manifestation, has your manifestation, be it more money, a new love, an old love, a new job, whatever it is you're trying to manifest right now, your future self has it. There is a timeline that exists where you already have what you want. And of course, Neville's talking about it. Neville gave us the scoop in The Power of Awareness way back when. So let me read this. So we're gonna walk it through. So the first thing that he says, and I'm like midway down the first page of The Power of Assumption, but it says the ideal you hope to achieve is always ready for an incarnation, but unless you yourself offer it human parentage, it is incapable of birth. Therefore, your attitude should be one in which, having desired to express a higher state, you alone accept the task of incarnating this new and greater value of yourself. So to me, what this is all saying is that you must choose the future self. Remember, we've been talking about being accountable. I told you in the last video, kind of this boiled down manifestation, formula, like the secret formula. It boils it down to almost 4 simple things. Well, again, you must choose the future self. You must choose the version of you that has exactly what you want. And you must choose to incarnate it, is what Neville says. And what he's meaning by that is that you choose to embody it. You choose that identity. Only you can bring that forward, right? You're the operant power in your life. No one else can force you to be the future you. No one else can decide for you that you are going to take and become that identity. That's what it's saying. You must accept the task of incarnation, right? It can only be birthed by and through you. That's what I'm saying. You are so powerful. You are the I am. You also have to take accountability. You can go back and listen to that video for your manifestation, because that's where it starts. We are accountable for the things that we want. We are accountable for the manifestations. We're accountable for becoming the future self. But wait, what's part 2? Okay, I'm skipping us ahead, right? Because Neville gets very verbose and starts to give poetries about moths and so forth, about desire, because of course desire is always important. But here's the key, right? After you desire to become your future self and you choose and accept that you are going to incarnate to it, this is the key, my friends. Just as the moth in his desire to know the flame was willing to destroy himself, right? It's this whole thing, like the moth is drawn to the flame and gets burned up, right? So must you, in becoming a new person, be willing to die to your present self. Now, we hear that all the time in church. Those of y'all that go to church, we hear that you got to die to your old self, right? To renew your mind. So Neville knows this theology, right? He is speaking off like this biblical idea that you have to die to your old self, your present self. That's what he's saying here. In order to birth the new self, in order to incarnate your future self that has your manifestation, you have to be willing to give up that old self. That's just how it works, right? Unless you want multiple people in there, but you don't. Then the last thing that I want to share, I think in chapter 3, is what is the tool, or what's the mechanism by how we do that? And basically it's one simple thing. I think after we choose it, after we decide that we are going to die to the present self, is that we use our imagination. Our imagination is a gift from God. It is a beautiful way that we can birth our dreams. They always come from, people say, from heaven to earth, however you want to look at it, from the immaterial to the material. Everything began in an imagination of a man. Everything. And so that is our tool to create our future self. And I'll read what he says. That which requires a state of consciousness to produce its effect, obviously, cannot be affected without such a state of consciousness. And in your ability to assume the feeling of a greater life, to assume a new concept of yourself, you must possess what the rest of nature does not possess, right? We're the only ones that have it. Imagination, the instrument by which you create your world. Neville's very clear. To manifest, to change our nature, to change our self-concept, to change our consciousness, we use our imagination. He goes on to say, your imagination is the instrument, the means whereby your redemption from slavery, sickness, and poverty is effected. So everything that you don't like about this world right now, everything that we're sitting around complaining about, everything that we want to change, we want to have more money, better health, no poverty, right? And definitely not be enslaved, hello. That's all affected through our imagination changing our self-concept and our identity and transporting us into our future selves. Neville then says, and I'm going to close with this because it is so powerful. Imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe, and it's given to us all. So the future you is only like 2 steps away from you deciding to incarnate with it, you making the choice that you are her or him right now, that you die to your present or old self, and you use your imagination all the time to step into that version of you. And for those of you that need help, book your one-on-one call.